leading financial burdens facing households. The survey further shows that economic hardships is taking a toll beyond finances and affecting the overall well-being of Kenyans. As Ben Chumba now reports, Kenya remains cautiously optimistic as they usher in the new year 2026.
The InfoTrack end-of-year poll conducted between 19th and 20th December 2025 sampled 1,000 adult respondents across all 47 counties to assess how Kenyans are closing the year and the expectations of the coming year. The findings showed that 26% of households cite unemployment as their biggest financial challenge, closely followed by 20% who point to high food prices. School fees account for 17%, while 14% say low wages are their main struggle. The economic strain is also people's overall health. 50% of respondents say the economic pressure has increased their stress levels and anxiety, while 25% report a negative impact on their mental health. The situation has for others led to physical health problems and strained personal relationships. To cope, many households are making difficult choices. Nearly 4 in 10 Kenyans are seeking additional sources of income, while 26% are cutting back on non-essential spending. At the same time, 22% are borrowing from friends or family, and 15% are turning to loans and credit, a sign of deepening financial vulnerability. Kenyans have placed blame on the high cost of living on governance issues. 31% cite corruption as the main cause, followed by 26% who blame high taxes, and 16% pointing to government policies and global economic factors such as fuel prices. Reflecting on the year, 41% of Kenyans describe 2025 as bad or terrible, while only 19% say it was good or excellent. Looking ahead to 2026, Kenyans are cautiously optimistic. 29% believe next year will be better. 30% fear it will be worse, while 1 in 4 expect little or no change. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
The United Opposition will unveil its presidential candidate in the next 3 months. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka says the move will allow the opposition outfit to hit the road to popularize the candidate who will take on President William Ruto.
In his end-of-year address, Kalonzo says the United Opposition will be busy in the next 3 months to hammer a deal between the principals, culminating in the unveiling of a presidential candidate.
By the first quarter of 2026, the name of a presidential candidate will be made known to Kenyans. I think it's only fair that we work in that direction. And I want to say that I personally do everything possible to hold our team together.
Without mentioning a specific date, the Wiper leader says once they settle on a candidate, they will hit the campaign trail to popularize the candidate.
You know, when you're dealing with coalition building, you cannot be that explicit unless you have all sat and said, this is it. But generally, there's that agreement within the first quarter. We should get the country our flag bearer.
Kalonzo has in the meantime cautioned against the push to review the constitution, accusing the Kenya Kwanza regime of hatching a plot to distract the country.
6 ballots, and you want to add other ballots to make it 10? Where in the world has that happened? I must tell them, we do not even have in place a referendum law. Let Parliament deal with that first.
Kalonzo delivered a stinging statement on the government's record, calling on President Ruto to immediately address the high cost of living and the inconsistencies in the education sector.
Let us speak honestly about where we are and what is the state of our nation, of which the evidence is damning, and it comes from Kenyans themselves.
John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
Elsewhere, a Turkish national has been released on personal bond of 1 million shillings after days in custody. Mustafa Gungor was freed following a court order that allows his release until the 3rd of February as investigations into alleged terror links continue. The Kahawa Law Court ruled that detaining him beyond the legally allowed period without clear evidence will violate his refugee rights as well as Kenya's international obligations under refugee protection laws. Human rights organizations have welcomed the decision, saying the move upholds the rule of law and protects refugees from unlawful detention. Turkish refugee Mustafa Gungor was arrested by anti-terrorist police units on 20th December while in Nairobi. Authorities allege that Gungor had links to a group designated as a terrorist organization by the Turkish government, claims tied to a Facebook post he reposted in 2018. Following his arrest, he was held in custody as investigations continued, sparking concern from human rights defenders over what they termed as prolonged detention without sufficient evidence. However, the Kahawa law courts have now directed that Gungor be released on personal bond pending further court proceedings scheduled for 3rd February, a move human rights groups have welcomed, saying the arrest and continued detention risked violating both Kenyan constitution and international refugee protection laws.
We have maintained the position that his continued and extended pre-trial detention without formal charges or clear evidence against him was a grave infringement of his rights and Kenya's obligation to the international community. We call upon the Kenyan government to immediately cooperate with the United Nations humanitarian program to accord Mustafa Gungor all the protection and safety that he is entitled to under international and domestic law as a refugee.
Tunaomba sana serikali iweze kuhakikisha kwamba haikubali fitina kutoka nchi za nje, sababu hii ni kama ni vita iko baina yake na baadhi ya watu kule nje, alafu wanaleta fitina pa Kenya. Tunaomba serikali ya Kenya isikubali fitina na kufanya uchunguzi hao wanaoleta hizi fitina ni akina nani.
The group added that Kenya has a duty to protect refugees from forced deportation where they may face persecution. As the case continues, Gungor remains a free man in the meantime as the court considers the legality of the allegations and any potential extradition requests. Some education matters now. Assistive devices play an important role in enabling individuals perform tasks without constant assistance from others. 405-year-old Mau Mau freedom fighter who lost his limb during Kenya's struggle for independence is walking again thanks to a life-changing intervention. Mwathi Nyamukindia, who hails from Mukodhima ward in Tharaka Nithi County, is among beneficiaries of prosthetic support facilitated by Kenya Institute of Special Education in collaboration with partners as part of ongoing efforts aimed at advancing inclusion and dignity for persons with disabilities.
At 105 years old, Mzee Mwanthi Ntamukindia, who lost his limbs during the country's liberation struggle, found a reason to smile again. When officers from the Kenya Institute of Special Education, KISE, met him in Tharaka Nithi County 3 months ago, his rehabilitation journey kicked off. KISE, in collaboration with Clinton Health Access Initiative and Kenyatta National Hospital, partnered to provide him a prosthetic leg, restoring not just his mobility, but his dignity and independence in old age.
This mzee is using a prosthesis that was made long time ago, and that prosthesis is broken. He himself decided to fix wood on it. He doesn't have what we call a prosthetic foot.
So we approached some of our partners, Clinton Foundation, and gracefully bought him that particular that wheelchair. He is very excited about it. 105 years, can be sure he has been like that for the last 60 years.
A similar intervention was extended to Emmanuel Washira, an 8-year-old boy who was living with bilateral amputations.
Emmanuel has got what we call congenital deformities. He was born minus one leg. We call it congenital amputation. Then the other leg had a deformity. Then it was shaped.
Miguu yake anaweza kutembea vizuri, lakini vile ametengenezewa ameanza kutembea vizuri. Nimeona improvement kulingana na hiyo ingine alikuwa nayo mbeleni, hata alikuwa na shida kutembea vizuri.
The boy's mother, Mary Wanjiro, could not hide her joy at seeing his son regain the ability to walk again after years of struggle.
Napenda sana kucheza mpaka ball. Na atakangi kufanyiwa kitu, anapenda kujisaidia yeye mwenyewe, anataka kujifanyia kila kitu.
these efforts to promote inclusion and expand access to services for persons with disabilities saw KISE being awarded the 2025 Best Educational Assessment and Resource Center EARC. The institution's director, Dr. Norman Kiogora, says these are not isolated cases, but part of a broader mission to ensure no person with disability is left behind, especially in underserved communities.
We have done that 5 counts from July to date, the last 6 months. We have been doing it every week. Last week we have done 2 counties, Nyandarua and Mandera. This weekend we also pick other counties, but we plan to make sure that we reach out every county by the end of this financial year. And this is deliberate, because this is how we can be able to identify people with special needs and also provide the support and the counseling, very important to us, and then also see what are the needs.
Joseph Ohungu for Prime Edition.
NLP party leader Augustus Muli has called on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to put its house in order ahead of the 2027 elections. He says only a credible electoral process will inspire confidence among Kenyans. According to Muli, the NLP party, together with other like-minded parties, is working to form a formidable coalition to become the third force in the 2027 elections.
According to Muli, the November by-elections did not convince Kenyans that the electoral body was capable of delivering credible polls. Muli has urged the IEBC to work on restoring public trust by ensuring transparency and preparedness in the run-up to the 2027 polls.
If this trend continues, how sure are we that we are going to have a free and fair election in 2027? They cannot guarantee us that. And this worries us as political parties and the citizens of this country.
Muli says Kenyans must be assured beyond any reasonable doubt that the elections will be free, fair and credible. He revealed that the NLP party is strengthening its grassroots presence and building alliances with other parties to mount a strong challenge against the political establishment.
In the past by-election, there was clearly no option. It was government versus the old government. Because these are all the same people. They're all part of the same thing. They have nothing new to offer to Kenyans. They have nothing to offer to us.
Muli criticized the current crop of politicians for concentrating on rhetoric instead of working for the welfare of Kenyans.
As National Liberal Party, we have this position that leadership must be a service. Serve your people for 5 years.
He also warned larger parties against attempts to cannibalize smaller outfits or using unconventional means to undermine them, insisting that democracy thrives on diversity and fair competition.
Party represents an ideology. It represents a form of thinking of some people, and we need to allow that. In any democracy, we need to allow that divergent view. That's why the parties, they're allowed to be registered. And once they're registered, then the government must support them.
John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
All right, 13 minutes past the top of the hour. Due for our fast break. We circle back with plenty more, including business and sports. Stay with us.
Flowers for? Huh? But who else would they be for? They're your sisters. Mr. Marcelo gave them to her. It's obvious that he's really crazy about her. He gave them to her so they can make up. Hey!
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia, tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Jirongo niko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama PDC, ma deep state, vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija ya kipwani.
Welcome back. Now, youths across the country have been urged to apply for national identity cards and participate in the ongoing voter registration ahead of the 2027 general election. This and other stories from the counties.
Speaking in Butula constituency during a youth voter registration awareness exercise, youth leader Dennis Seboda Namatse noted that the lack of national IDs has locked out many youth from key decision-making processes and denied them access to essential government services.
Na wahimiza vijana tafadhali, mwache hii mambo ya maandamano ndio mnatoka kwa large numbers na mtaki kukata kura. Mkate kura 2027 ufanye mabadiliko ambayo inastahili.
Meanwhile, a family of the Isiolo National Police Reservist James Doreen, who went missing under unclear circumstances a week ago, has decried laxity by the security agency in establishing the whereabouts of their missing kin.
Aingilia ikati ya hii mambo, tujue ya kwamba hii mtu ako hai ama ameuliwa. Na hii mtu kama amestakiwa, amefanya makosa, apelekwe kotini, astakiwe.
Kama mtu amekosea, serikali singeita siku hiyo imshike, apelekwe kotini. Mbona amefichwa?
Elsewhere in Nyandarua County, the governor, Dr. Moses Badelesha, has raised alarm over what he described as massive and uncontrolled tree cutting in the Aberdare forest, warning that the practice poses a looming environmental and economic disaster.
Tumeangazia shida kubwa ambayo iko hapa mbele, kwa sababu wakati leseni ilitolewa kwamba ile miti ilikuwa imekomaa ikatwe. Sasa wale wanaharakati wale ambao ni watu ambaye hawapendi kuona maendeleo, wamekata miti ile ilikuwa imekomaa, wamekata ile miti ingine yoyote, hata sehemu ikufaa. Sasa wanakata hata mche ile miti kidogo.
Wakati tunaendelea kupanda miche, ingine inaendelea kukatwa. Sasa hatujui kwa nini. Mimi ningeomba serikali yetu kuanzia sasa ijaribu vile itawasafanya kuona ya kwamba hakuna uharibifu wa misitu, kwa sababu sisi tunapoendelea kujaribu kuongezea ni wengine wanaendelea kumalizia.
Finally, the county government of Kitui has taken advantage of the long vacation and Christmas festivities to develop football talent across the county, with a football tournament bringing together teams from every village.
Kitu cha kwanza ni kuleta wayuthi pamoja. Wakae pamoja, wajuane, wacheze. Kucheza peke yake hiyo ni kitu ya muhimu sana. Kile ingine ni kutoa our youth watoke kwa drugs, mewoka, kuchonga, kukunywa pombe hizi haramu. Na tunashukuru because hatufanyi peke yetu. Tuko na watu ya ngao, DC, tuko na police, wamesaidia sana kuelimisha wa vijana hata before kucheza.
Reporting for Prime Edition, I'm Aaron Marie.
Several organizations in Kajiado County have begun an ambitious program aimed at addressing the food security in the semi-arid county. The program is aimed at empowering communities and improving livelihoods through sustainable beekeeping. And as Timothy Kipnusu reports, the project spearheaded by the Worldwide Fund for Kenya has opened the eyes of women to venture into entrepreneurship and transform the lives of their families.
At the foot of Kilimanjaro, a silent but transformational project is sweeping along the landscape. The engine behind this is a group of women who have refused to be reduced to the begging habit and dependency to their husbands. In our visit at Nomayanat village, Kimana ward in Kajiado, South Kajiado County, The women donned in Maasai outfits are busy in their farm doing what they know best. Esther Selanga, the chairlady of Ngais Women Group, revealed to us that the project, which is a brainchild of Worldwide Fund Kenya, has indeed transformed many women.
Nyuki anakuwa mzuri na anatoa hiyo asali anauza. Napatikana hiyo pesa ya kikundi.
In an area where drought is the order of the day, the project by these women is a game changer.
Tumeanza mambo ya ufugaji wa nyuki kwa miaka mingi ambayo imeenda, lakini hatukukuwa na ujuzi mingi sana, lakini vile tumefundishwa na WWF and Sowing Change Alliance, wametufundisha vitu mingi za manufaa ya nyuki ambayo hatukujua.
According to Pauline Leyeso, the training by WWF has opened our eyes not only to view bees as a source of honey, but also other products that can help them earn more income.
Tumejua baadhi ya vitu ambazo hatukuwa tunazijua, kama vile kitambo tulikuwa tunajua umuhimu wa nyuki ni asali peke yake. Mimi nashukuru hiyo project yetu ya Sowing Change. Ingine wametuletea hiyo project, wametuletea mbuzi ambazo ni breed nzuri ya maziwa.
Evelyn Kileken tells us some of the products they have managed to produce in their project, which has helped them make a living.
Napata faida kupitia hiyo asali vile tunauza, candles pia tunauza, na sabuni pia unapata ya kwa kutumia nyumbani mwenyewe na ya kuuza.
By the look of things here, the value addition process is a daunting task. Breathtaking it is, but the women have mastered the art.
Wamejitahidi sana kama wamama, sababu ile kitu nimejionea mimi mwenyewe ni kwamba wakati wanakutana kwa merry go round, jambo la kwanza ni kuunda hizo product, kuongezea kwa ile stock yao.
In as far as empowering women, it's also for them to be able to know that it's not just honey, but there are other value-add products that you can get. And I've mentioned, the value-adds would be in terms of being able to get candle wax, to be able to make wax out of it, to be able to get lip balms. That is money that is coming directly to the pocket.
They, however, said more training is needed for them to boost their venture.
Na haja ya training kwa sababu unapata pia maybe hiyo mafuta tukitengeneza ama sabuni, kuna chemicals huenda zinatumika na mara mingi hatujui inatoka wapi, so lazima tuende kwa duka tununue. So kama serikali inaweza tusaidia pia tuwe tunapata hizo kwa urahisi, ingetusaidia zaidi.
Ni WWF ndio wamekuja wakatufunza, ndio sasa wakatuletea walimu, tukafundishwa, ndio tukashika kutengeneza, kuchemusha hii nyuki. Sasa hii nini ile kitu kubwa nyuki wanatengenezaga ndio asali itokee, tukachemusha ikawa mafuta. Ndio sasa wakasema tutengeneze iwe candles, iwe lip balm, iwe na mafuta. Ndio sasa hata tumejipaka mikono. Naona sasa hii hatuparari kwa sababu ya hiyo kitu tumetengeneza sasa hii. Nani wao ndio wametufundisha.
Tetetei Sangao, however, says the drought currently witnessed the area has impacted negatively in their beekeeping project.
Yenye tulipendelea nyuki wakati wa kiangazi kama huu ni ile tu ile hawana nguvu nao ya kujenga. Sasa kazi yao pia inadidimia, inaenda chini kwa sababu hawajengi vile wanajenga kama wakati wa mvua. Maana kipindi cha mvua wanajenga sana, tunatoa asali mingi, lakini saa hii pia ni kidogo kwa sababu wako na njia pia, maana ni wanatumiaga maua kama chakula, na saa hiyo maua haipatikani, inabidi tuwape maji.
Through this project, WWF has gone ahead and opened up a sustainable beekeeping honey hub at Kimana, where the women can sell their products and earn an income out of their sweat.
Sasa tuko na duka hata Kimana ambao hii kampuni wametupatia, tunawahusia hapo. Alafu hii sasa atutupi sasa hii ya kuchemusha kama candles atutupi. Sasa hii ni kama tumefaidika sana kupitia nyuki. Faida tu ni pesa, chakula cha watoto, hiyo ndio tushapata, maana haijakuwa big business. Bado haijapanuka zaidi, lakini tuna matumaini ya kwamba itakuja kupanuka.
Wako na kitu ya kujivunia kwa sababu sasa hivi wako na soko ambao wanapeleka direct hizo vitu bidhaa zao baada ya kutengeneza. Kuna mahali wanapeleka zinachukuliwa kwa bei ya juu.
We don't just provide, but we also ensure that we train them to be able to manage their own groups from a governance and also basic bookkeeping. We've also been able to link them up with the off-takers. In this case, they're linked up to be Farmers Hub to be able to off-take whatever they produce.
With the ever-changing climatic condition, particularly here in Kajiado County, a section of women have found an alternative source of livelihood where they are rearing bees, not only to get honey, but for value addition. Timothy Kipnoso reporting for Channel 1 News from Kajiado County.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Na ni nini mnapima hapa? Gazebo itakuwa pale, si ndio? Tokeni hapa.
Tangu asubuhi mfanya kazi gani? Tuko comedy, si ndio?
Mbona unanifuata? Nani alikwambia niko na haraka ya kutoka kwa hii dunia? Nimejaribu kukusaidia, lakini bado unajifanya kichwa ngumu. You will regret it. Hautanipenda?
And the next time unajaribu kuniletea hiyo upuzi ama utry kuniharas, nitakusema kwa chini.
Yeah, I don't care.
Kama nzio maskini ni ukaa utumwa. Walai bro, ningekaa another minute bila ukula. Ninge collapse walai. Hiyo ofa ya baba jina ni tempting sana.
Tunaweza jipata tu amekubali.
Mimi ni kama babako.
Si wote tunajua unipendi.
Kumbuka ni 50k, eh?
Welcome back. We continue to inform you. Now, popular for its vast open plains and the spectacular wildebeest migration, the Masai Mara National Reserve has in recent months been at the center of debate over development versus conservation. And what began as a viral video about construction of luxurious world-class, the Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara Safari Camp, would later roll to the corridors of justice on claims that the facility was blocking key wildebeest migration corridor. The case has since been withdrawn by environmental activist Meitamei Olol Dapash. Our reporter John Kahiro has returned from the Mara National Reserve in Narok County with this report.
The Masai Mara National Reserve hosts one of the world's great wildlife spectacles. The annual migration of thousands of wildebeest and zebras crossing the predator-infested Mara River between July and September in search of fresh pasture. However, in the recent months, the Mara has been at the center of a hot debate about the construction of the 20-sought world-class Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara Safari Camp situated along the banks of the Sand River. In a now withdrawn petition, environmental activist Meitamei Olol Dapash moved to court to stop the project on the claims that it was constructed on a key wildlife migration corridor, that public participation was not done, and that the development took place amidst an active moratorium on new lodges. The case ignited widespread online and offline debate. This prompted us to embark on a 295 kilometers journey from Nairobi to the Great Masai Mara National Reserve in Narok County. Deep in the Mara is the luxurious Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara Safari Camp, boasting of premium hospitality while coexisting with the nature. Our guide of the day is Daniel Ouma. He takes us to one of the migration corridors along the Sun River that he says is the closest to the camp.
This is the first crossing point for the wildebeest when they come from Tanzania, and it is a very popular and common crossing point for all the camps within the Masai Mara Reserve. Actually, we are about 3 to 4 kilometers from the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and right behind me is the sand crossing in the Sand River, which cuts across Mara from the eastern corridor and heads into Masai Mara, Mara River.
This is the first migration crossing point situated along the Sand River, and according to guides, it is actually situated 3 to 4 kilometers from the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. East of the park along the Sand River, he shows us more migration routes, not as a single narrow route, but spread widely.
There is a speculation going on that there's a lot of crocodiles in the Sand River. That is not true. I've been a guide here for the last 23 years. I've never seen a crocodile in the Sand River. Crocodiles are mostly found in the main river, which is the Mara River.
Notably, the routes lie on open plains. Further west of the camp, he shows us the most popular and well-known wildebeest migration crossings at the Mara River. Here too, the routes appear on open terrains with pockets of thickets and no forests. From this particular visit, it is evident that migration corridors are spread widely along the Mara River. Now, right behind me is the Yu crossing point, one of the largest migration corridors situated along this particular river. Now, the distance from this area to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel is approximately 12 kilometers. Critics claimed the hospitality facility poses a challenge to the survival and free movement of other wildlife species, which the camp's management denies.
That was the last crossing point. There are other places in the middle, but you cannot tell wildebeest today you are going to cross the Sand River from the middle or south of where you are, that kind of thing. This is a tradition, something they've done over the years, and that ought to have been respected.
Look at the KWS report in ensuring that we received all of the proper approvals prior to actually putting that first shovel in the ground can state the case itself. We are not in a major migration area. We're in a wooded area, and on top of that, we're elevated. So it's a very small footprint in a very special spot in the Masai Mara.
The Kenya Wildlife Service on the 27th of November 2025 said the Ritz-Carlton does not sit on any established migration corridor. In a statement, KWS said the camp is situated within a designated tourism investment low-use zone as provided for in the Masai Mara National Reserve Management Plan of 2023 to 2032. One of his grounds in the now withdrawn petition, environmental activist Maitamai Olo Dapash had argued the Ritz-Carlton camp had been set up at a time when a moratorium on new lodges in sensitive areas was in effect.
The president issued a directive. It was a very much welcome directive because until then, development, construction, erection of fences, buildings and so forth, along wildlife corridors and within wildlife corridors was just out of control. Now, Ritz-Carlton was built just, months ago, even in spite of that directive still being in place.
For any type of construction in that area, you would need that exemption. And I think if you really look at that exemption and understand what that exemption does for Kenya, for Masai Mara, it opens an iconic luxury brand to come into not only Kenya, but East Africa, and opens up doors, not only to the guests, but more importantly, the ladies and gentlemen that work at the camp.
The National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, says the camp incorporates an elevated design to maximize on ecological footprints and minimize on vegetation clearance. On public participation, NEMA says views from elders were sought during a meeting held on the 18th of April 2024 at Talek Sublocation Chiefs Camp.
Public participation ulifanya na community, na sisi kama community tuliona hii kampuni tutakuwa kuja faida kwetu. Kwa moja ni ajira ya watu yetu. Hii kampuni sasa inabeba watu 200.
Ametueleza pahali tunajenga iko pahali ana effect nyinyi community, iko pahali inaharibu nyinyi tukijenga hiyo kambi. Tukaambia hakuna, maana tunajua sisi ni wakaaje hapa, na kwanza hiyo wanyama pori hiyo ajaibita hapa ni mstoni na ina kifuka hapa, na hata hizo manyama ingine kama kifiboko nini haezi kaa hapa, maana hizo wanyama kubwa wanakaa ndani ya maji kubwa.
Even though Dapash sought to withdraw the case on the 16th of December 2025, the camp's management say they are keen on full hearing of the matter.
We've had massive reputational damage to our image, and we want to see this through. We don't want to just walk away from this, and it's important to us that we go through this process to show Kenya, to show the world that we've followed the letter of the law, we've followed science.
From online to on-ground conversations to legal battles in the corridors of justice, the Ritz-Carlton has been at the center of controversy for the last few months, sparking hot debate about its presence and the potential threats it holds for the Mara ecosystem. However, the management says the existence of this particular establishment poses no threat to the ecosystem and does not in any way interfere with the wildlife migration. John Kahiro for Channel 1 News, Masai Mara.
Thank you, John Kahiro, for that. And our fortunes emerging from the festive season have fueled a boom in the sale of assorted glassware items as Kenyans spend on gifts and accessories. East Africa Glassware Mart Limited sales manager Kusei Dick says consumer goods and food services glassware continues to grow the industry as Kenyans increase their appetite for luxury and ornamental items.
Demonstrate to you. Our main forte is divided into two. The company boasts two divisions, food service and consumer goods. Consumer goods is all the retail side of the business. Food service is mainly all hotels, restaurants, catering institutions, and wherever food is served.
We've put new measures to make sure that these hotels, these outlets, they all have the supplies that are needed for the holidays so that millions of you can continue to have an amazing experience when you visit the same places.
What happened? Where's your father?
On their way back home, Suri had a car accident and was severely injured.
Samahani, simkweza kumkua mwanao.
Mwenyezi Mungu siku zote amemchukua yule amempenda zaidi.
We do what we can, but also have to accept fate sometimes. Do our best, live without regrets.
Don't take things to heart. You'll have a long road ahead of you.
Na kwa nini unakuja kuongea maneno ya urongo mbele ya koti?
Maneno ya urongo namna gani? Na wewe ulipatikana na vifaa ya wizi.
Sasa kwa nini unaongea vizuri na saa hii mimi nakwambia mimi sijaipa kitu yoyote?
Ulimuona?
Wewe uliniona?
Wewe ndio mimi niliona misuri kusenda mtu mwingine yote. Kumbuka mimi naongea ndani ya kiapo. Wewe ulikuwa mmoja wao.
Mimi nilikuwa
mmoja. Wewe kwanza ulifunika mimi mkono na macho. Na sasa ile wewe ulikuwa unafunika badala ya kuseka mimi pole wewe liweka lea pa
ulichukuliwa vizuri katika nini, katika CCTV
kamera. Na umesema hizi vitu zilitolewa nini? Zilitolewa Runda. Umesema na nani? Ati sasa unaruka tena.
Welcome back to some sporting action now, when South Africa booked their place in the round of 16 of the 2025 CAF Africa Cup of Nations following a 3-2 victory over Zimbabwe in Group B's last round of matches played last evening. The victory sent the 1996 champions through as group runners-up with 6 points, one behind Egypt, who had already secured qualifications.
In another match, host Morocco progressed through after producing a commanding 3-0 victory over Zambia.
Strikes a 31st international goal and his second in this tournament.
Mali booked their place in the knockout stages despite being held to a goalless draw by Comoros in the final Group A match.
Good play here and there, but physical as well.
Frederick Mwoki for Prime Edition.
She writes appeals.
The first Kenyan Grand Slam winner, Angela Okutoyi, is through to the quarterfinals of the ongoing Women W35 Tour following today's double victory at the Parkland Sports Club, where she is determined to defend the title she won last year with Sada Nahihama of Burundi. This time around, she partnered with Poland's Zuzana Pawilowska to produce a stunning performance in the round of 16 and claim a 2-set win of 6-1, 6-2 over the Indian duo of Adi Gupta and Vanshita Pathania. The Kenyan top seed will start her quest for the singles titles tomorrow, where she will be up against Hungarian Luka Udvardi in the round of 32. Stacey Ego was also in action today but fell 6-1, 6-1 to Austria's Stephanie Auer in her opening singles match, as Celine Ahoya also lost her opener to Italy's Nicole Salvadori in straight sets of 6-3, 6-0. The W35 Nairobi Women's Professional Tennis Tournament features top players from around the world who are chasing crucial ranking points, and they include, among others, Natalika Senik of Turkey, Isabella Shinokova of Bulgaria, and Sandra Samir of Egypt. Nairobi's Water women's handball team are through to the semi-finals of the 43rd edition of the ongoing East Africa and Central African Handball Federation Championship in Kampala, following the unbeaten run in their pool matches. Nairobi thrashed Muzinga of Burundi 41-9 in their second Pool B match today to set up a semi-final place against UPDF of Uganda, who finished second in Pool A with 1 win. NCPB Cereals of Kenya are also through to the semi-finals following their 36-33 win over UPDF of Uganda in their second match in Pool A, which they topped. They will face Prisons in the last 4 after the Ugandans finished as runners-up in Group B with 1 win. NCPB Cereals men are also assured of a semi-final berth following an unbeaten run in Pool A, and they will face Brothers of Burundi, who finished second in Pool B, won by UPDF of Uganda. The Sunshine Development Tour of East Africa Swing has announced an expanded calendar for Season 2, which will take place from April 2026 to January 2027. It will feature 14 events across East Africa and will tee off with a qualifying school scheduled for April 2026 at the Thika Greens Golf Resort, where the top 10 finishers will earn invitations to compete at the Sunshine Tour final stage qualifier in South Africa. The tour will then move to Thika Sports Club before making its way to Nairobi in June for back-to-back events at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club and Vet Club Sports Club. The tour will then head to the Kenyan coast for 2 events at the Vipingo Ridge Golf Resort and Diamonds Leisure Golf Resort in July. Meanwhile, Nasibo Karate Club from Bumula constituency in Bungoma County organized a training session for karate students from the area to enhance their skills. The exercise was conducted by highly trained instructors who urged parents to allow their children to join the sport as it promotes discipline and personal safety while also acting as a source of livelihood.
Muhimu leo imetuleta hapa ni kwamba sisi kama executive member wa Kenya Karate Federation tulisema kwamba tunataka kunacha talent from the ground.
Leo nashukuru Mungu tumekuja hapa kufanya maneno na grading. Tulianza kutrain karate kitambo, na kawaida kwa karate hata ukiwa shule ukisoma lazima kuna wakati unafanya mtihani. So leo ilikuwa ni siku kama ya mtihani.
Leo imenisaidia kwa kuwa tutakuwa fitness, and then ni karate nataka ni train niende mbali.
The 2025 World Athletics Champion in Tokyo will be remembered for extraordinary performances over 9 days of competition as Kenyan athletes led from the front to rewrite the history books while setting championship records. And for another year running, it was the female athletes who dominated the show as Kenya finished second overall behind the USA with 7 gold medals, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals.
World champion against the Olympic champion.
Double Olympic champion Beatrice Dubat became a double world champion when she won the women's 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters races in 14 minutes 54.36 seconds and 30 minutes 37.61 seconds respectively to complete her mission after sending the records tumbling over both distances.
Again for Beatrice Dubat, the Olympic champion, the world record holder, becomes the world champion. Another sublime silver for Batacleti.
Her compatriot Faith Kipyegon, who is the 1,500 meters world record holder, won a silver in the 5,000 meters in a season's best of 14 minutes 55.07 seconds and retained her 1,500 meters world title in 3 minutes 52.15 seconds to become the first woman to win 4 world titles.
Faith Kipyegon powering for the line. It's a win for Faith Kipyegon, 3:52. And it's a silver medal for Aroy of Kenya.
Faith is also the first woman to win 3 consecutive Olympic medals over that distance, attempted to become the first woman to run under 4 minutes in the mile in 2025, but fell short in an event organized by Nike. Nevertheless, she holds the world record over that distance.
Faith Kipyegon heads towards history here in Paris as she gets under her previous world best
amazing.
Faith Jerotich became a world champion in the 3,000 meters steeplechase with a championship record of 8 minutes 51.59 seconds after containing Winfred Yavi of Bahrain, just as she had done in the Diamond League.
Phenomenal from Faith Jerotich. Faith Jerotich, that was
Lilian Odira shocked the world when she stormed to victory in the 800 meters race.
Kenyans going to do it. What an upset. What a story. Oh, my word. The championship record that has stood.
Olympic 800 meters champion Emmanuel Wanyonyi became a world champion with a championship record of 1 minute 41.86 seconds to also bag the World Athletics Male Track of the Year award.
Wanyonyi in the closing stages holding on as Sajati.
Reynold Cheriot won a bronze in the men's 1500 meters as Edmund Sarem won a bronze in the men's 3000 meters steeplechase to earn himself the World Athletics Rising Star of the Year award. Turning now to the World Para-Athletics in New Delhi, Kenya won only 2 silver medals, with the first from the visually impaired Sheila Wanyonyi, who won silver in the F13 javelin throw, and Nancy Chelagat Koech, who never disappoints with another silver in the T11 1500 meters race. And finally, Tokyo also played host to the Deaflympics Games, where Kenya topped the track and field medal chart with 5 gold medals, 6 silver and 4 bronze medals. Ian Wambui won a double in the 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters races and went an extra mile in the 5,000 meters, where he set a new Deaf world record of 13 minutes 52.83 seconds. James Mwanza won the 1,500 meters in a 1-2 sweep with Elkanah Rono, which was replicated in the 3,000 meters steeplechase, where Lucas Wanjiru won the gold as Jacob Kipkemoi settled for the silver. The Kenyan team of Simon Menza, Isaac Tongi, Lynette Fwamba, and Beryl Wamira also won a silver in the mixed relay, as Sharon Bitok, Viola Jalimo, and Sarah Kimani won a bronze each in the women's 1,500 meters, 5,000 meters, and 10,000 meters races, respectively. Frederick Mwoki for Channel 1 Sports.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude.
As you can see with me, I have this handkerchief. And is it really a handkerchief or is it?
My name is Kevin Kasioki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Welcome back. Former Lugari member of National Assembly and UDP party leader Cyrus Jirongo has been laid to rest. Family, friends, and the political class eulogized Jirongo as a generous leader who strived to foster Luya unity and mentored many, both in politics and business. Achola Simon reports.
Friends, family and the political class gathered in Lumakanda to bid farewell to the former Lugari Member of National Assembly, Cyrus Jirongo. Jirongo was eulogized as a steadfast leader who mentored many both politically and in business.
In public life, he fought fiercely for justice, equality, and the dignity of all people. He was a strong voice for the marginalized, guided by conviction and an unshakable belief in unity. He believed leadership was practical work, connecting households to opportunities through roads, schools, clinics, water, power, and markets.
In a statement read by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, President William Ruto eulogized Jirongo as a personal friend and a great leader.
Cyrus Jirongo was a relentless go-getter, a consummate politician, a seasoned businessman who refused to be bowed, let alone defeated.
Leaders who spoke at the burial ceremony were insistent on the need for the government to urgently investigate any foul play in his demise, if any, to erase any doubts from members of the public.
And we want watu wote hawezi enda wrong ati kwa sababu wana complain about the transparency on the deaths of Mheshimiwa Cyrus Jirongo. And that one, it's clear that the Kenyans and everyone must be told the truth on what happened.
Kwamba we have valid and genuine questions which we want the government to address about the death of Cyrus Jirongo. And any responsible government all over the world, ile kitu watafanya is to establish an independent inquiry into the death of Cyrus Jirongo.
They also want property owned by the late politician to be safeguarded for the family.
Nataka nikuhakikishie pia kisha hakuna mtu atainvest kwa hiyo shamba ya Ruai. Hiyo shamba ya Ruai ni ya Jirongo na ni ya watoto wake. Na isije wakati mtu amekufa ndio watu wanakuja wanasimama hapa. Kuna watu wengi wangesaidia Jirongo hapo nyuma. Mimi na uwezo wangu kidogo Mungu anajua na watoto wake wanajua. Na mimi nataka nisimame hapa niseme ndugu zangu wakina Amayo, tumekubaliana baada ya hii mashishi hii mayema yote itatolewa na kila kitu itatolewa hapa. Hao watoto wamewachwa nyuma na ako na watoto wazuri zaidi ya watoto 20. Tushikane mkono, tuangalie mali ya Jirongo yenye ndaka ikutanishwe na ile gani iko kona gani, tufanye je tutafanya, tuhakikishe hao watoto waishi maisha mazuri.
The elusive Luya unity and ODM politics will take center stage.
Pamoja kama jamii tusifanye kila wakati namba zetu hazihesabiwi kwa sababu tunatembea barabara tofauti. Mazishi na Cyrus Jirongo kutuacha ikuwe sababu kubwa ya sisi kuanza kufikiria.
Najua viongozi mnaongea na mnaongelea tu Western huku, mnasahau kuna Waluya zaidi ya 1,000,000 kule Nairobi, kuna Waluya kule Mombasa, kuna Waluya Nakuru. Hii ni jukumu letu kama viongozi kuleta Waluya pamoja vile Mama Elsie amesema.
Leaders maintaining that a son of the soil will gun for the top seat in 2027 general polls. ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna reiterated his commitment to stay in the ODM party. He, however, used the platform to defend former President Uhuru Kenyatta from accusations that he cost the former Premier and ODM leader Raila Odinga presidency in the last poll.
Nataka kwa niaba ya chama cha ODM ni kuomba msamaha kwa matusi ambayo unaelekezewa na baadhi ya viongozi wa ODM ambao wamesahau kazi ambayo ulifanya kumsaidia baba awe rais. Sisi Waluya huwa tunasema mjinga akishiba anachoma siaki, anachoma gala. Wamesahau kazi ambayo ulifanya. Sisi tulikuwepo pale, sisi ni mashahidi wa kazi ambayo ulifanya kumsaidia baba.
Sifuna wants the government to implement the NADCO report as agreed with the departed premier before entering any arrangements with ODM on new terms.
Hata tukiambiwa sijui tunaenda kwa zingine ati nakwambia jameni wa Kenya naona mtu akishindwa njia ya kujipendekeza kule anataka kujipendekeza, lazima atafute mtu aseme unajua watu wanakataa kusikiza kwa sababu ya ule, kwa sababu ya huyu. Toa hiyo fikira mbovu, kwenda ongea na wananchi. Wengine wanadanganya Oburu. Nilikuwa na yeye hapa nikamwambia The thing that used to make Raila a great leader, he used to consult everyone. Hata wale watu ambao walikuwa wamedharauliwa, unaona mama hapa anajivuruta, unafikiria ajui Raila, kumbe yako na namba yake. Anapiga simu direct. Mimi nataka niseme uamuzi wa jinsi ambavyo chama kitaenda 2027 hautafanywa na hawa viongozi hapa juu. Itisheni mkutano wa National Delegates Convention, wacha wana ODM wakuje waseme wanaenda kwa Ruto ama tusimamishe hata.
Jirongo was buried on his farm in Lumakanda. He leaves behind 3 widows, several children and grandchildren. Achola Simon, Prime Edition, Kakamega County.
May his soul of Cyrus Jirongo rest in eternal peace. Now that's all the time we had for you tonight. This has been KBC Prime Edition. I'm Doreen. Arange Lensa Odingo has been our sign language interpreter. Good night.
For charity, dial star 419 hash.
Nakuona.
Kuja hivi sasa.
What is wrong? What is wrong?
Buddha. Siku umedial star 419 hash. Chika. Yani hujui kwa option 3 kuna Pro Box. Pro Box. Usisahau kwa star 419 hash option 3 iko Pro Box ya bahati. Na ikikuangukia ufunguo utakufikia mahali popote ulipo. Usisahau.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 65.
Mama, I broke my leg.
Huh? What happened? Where's your father?
On their way back home, Suri had a car accident and was severely injured.
Samahani, simkweza kumkua mwanao.
Mwenyezi Mungu siku zote amemchukua yule amempenda zaidi.
We do what we can, but also have to accept fate sometimes. Do our best, live without regrets.
Don't take things to heart. You'll have a long road ahead of you.
kabisa. Na hapa ndani pia niko na watatu ambao wako ready kusukumana na our 12 boxes. Madam, jina ni nani?
Elise Mseni.
Kutoka wapi wewe?
Ukura.
Big man, majina nani?
Majina kamili naitwa Evans Mali.
Evans, kazi ni gani unafanya?
Kazi tu ni ya kibarua tu ya nyumbani.
Aha, majina nani pia wewe?
Kwa majina ni Gladys Mura.
Gladys Mura.
Kutoka Kericho County.
Kutoka Kericho.
Bureti.
Hapa ndani nimeweka 20,000 Kenya shillings ya shopping ya January. Hapa ndani nimeweka 35,000 Kenya shillings ya school fees, 35,000 Kenya shillings ya rent ya January. Hapa ndani iko 50,000, hapa ndani iko 65,000 na iko 100,000 Kenya shillings. Mora, Evans, na hili nataka niwapatie fursa sasa hizi. Kuna sanduku moja hapa ndani niko sure nyote hamuitaki. Hebu sikizaneni, ni gani mnataka kuibandua hapa? Ongeani msikizane.
11.
Namba ngapi?
11.
Hey. Msema kweli? Onesha watu namba 11 iko na nini na hizo zingine pia ziko na nini.